Welcome back, everyone, and it's time to go balls deep! And this is a very special occasion. Wanna know why? No! Well, it's because not only do we have a brand new Black Clover chapter to sink our teeth into, and trust me, it's but today, you get to hang out with me!
Get out of here.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. I got an awesome video for you guys today, cause guess what? We got Gordon's brand new magic.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
We got Gray's brand new magic. We finally get to see Morris and Lucifero in action.
Finally!
And lastly, we got... sorry guys, let me get this real quick. Yellow.
You aren't allowed to spoil that last part! Shut your cavity-filled mouth!
How do you know what's in my mouth?
Just shut up and don't say another word! I'll kill Yami if you do! Don't test me! I'll do it!
Okay, so I care about the well-being of the beefiest, finest hunk of a man to ever be put to paper. Too much to spoil that fourth thing. So, we got those other three.
Yay!
So, Black Clover Chapter 312 begins with our beloved Black Bulls crashing Morris's little party. And good thing too, because Lotus was about to go night-night forever!
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you something. We don't.
Morris shows an interest in the Black Bulls due to having heard from Dante that there were 2 arcane mages among them, and so he decides he wants to dissect them all. Vanessa's like, huh? Naughty the frick? You got that other creep's magic, but you weren't one of the Triad. Who are you?
Wait a minute! Who are you?
But Ghosh has the right mindset, see, cause he's like,
oh my god, who the hell cares?
he don't give a crap who this dude is. All that matters is that he's in their way of getting Yami back. Oh, yeah, and William too.
Who?
So, they go to attack, but Morris is like,
not today.
and uses his modification magic to rip into the base. Vanessa notes that Rouge's power is ineffective, which would normally be a big detriment, and some might even say it's a plot convenient way to create tension so the villain can look powerful, but here it really is necessary, because Rouge's power is honestly way too broken, especially now that Vanessa's had her 3 days of training.
3 days!
Morris explains that his magic is now powerful enough to interfere with concepts, meaning if he so much as touches them, they're dead. Although we know Tabata, he wouldn't kill off any of his main cast, or his side cast, or the side cast, or the...
Alright, I get it!
Suddenly, Gray steps in and tries to stop Morris, and this is where we get a little bit of a flashback. Like, seriously, it's like 2/3 of a page. Anyways, in said flashback, Gray is talking to Owen, and he explains to her that she had changed the very structure of Dante's Earth Gravity Sword, meaning she transformed it into body tissue for Ghosh. This makes that scene back in chapter 244 make so much more sense, as her magic wasn't ever transformation magic at all to begin with, which we've known for a little while now, but we never knew what kind of magic she actually had until now. Owen says that if he had to give it a name, he'd call it transmutation magic.
Huh?
Edward Elric is shaking in his boots right now, I swear.
Oh, scary. Oh, shiver my timbers.
That's right, she can transmute magic, meaning she can literally change the cellular structure of a spell, and maybe even just objects. But we'll have to see if Tabata explores it much further. Anyway, because of this, she is able to completely change his modification magic into a giant mass of flowers, making it not toxic to the touch. Morris is impressed, but wonders if she can stop all of his attacks. Gray is too embarrassed to transform while using her magic, and Ghosh is just like,
shut your stupid ass up.
then he commands Gray to look at his magical glass eye thingy like,
You look at it!
Suddenly, a bunch of Gray shadow clones appear in what has to be the biggest gathering of social anxiety ever. One for each magical tentacle thingy from Morris. So, of course, she transmutes them all, rendering his attack ineffective. However, Morris goes on to use Lucifero's spell, Gravity Magic, Presence of the Demon King, thinking to himself that gravity should be impossible for her to transform. But he's forgetting one crucial thing. Reality can be whatever they want, cause it's magic, right? That's right, guys, magic can do anything, and by giving me your mana, I can use my editing magic to keep producing these awesome videos. But you gotta smash that like button and hit that notification bell. Come on, guys, let's prove once again that we have the best community in all of YouTube history. Anyway, coming back to the chapter, Morris declares he's going to disassemble the base. But in that moment, Henry thinks back on the last time he had a chance to protect the Bulls and how he failed. He then has a flashback to when Gordon first returned from training with his family and how he immediately showed he had more confidence than ever before, pulling an All Might and telling everyone, "It's all right now." Why? Because I am here. Gordon said that it took him 6 months of research and training, but he finally learned how to turn his poison into medicine. Now, coming back to the present, Tabata reveals to us, the readers, that Gordon can turn curses into power.
That's why he's the GOAT!
We then see Henry, and is that really Henry?
Oh no, he's hot!
So, it appears that Gordon's turning curses into power thing was just a guise. What he actually spent 6 months training for was the ability to make anybody attractive. Gordon, you need to see me after this.
You sussy baka.
Henry then begins using his curse to siphon off Morris's magic power, and begins using it to manipulate all the different pieces of the base. Then, he takes the base parts and just starts slamming down on this dude, messing him up real good. Like, just look at him!
Look at this dude.
Morris, being all beat up, says thanks to his countless experiments, he has elevated himself to a higher level than everybody else. Which sounds awfully familiar. It's almost as if every single devil-related antagonist has said the exact same things. But anyways, he claims to have the greatest aptitude as a devil host, despite the fact that the way he's been using Lucifero's abilities is really friggin' bland, man. I really kinda wish he was a bit more creative with how he used his powers. Like, Dante, for example, that guy was creative with his attacks. The dude had personality and flair and everything you'd want from an entertaining villain. Morris, on the other hand, is just like, presence of the Demon King, Walmart flesh magic, oh.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Anyways, Morris gets smacked again to the face, and I gotta say, Lucifero has gotta be wallowing, because both his devil hosts were getting their butts beaten by some kids with a couple of months to days of training. In contrast to Lucifero's potential millennia of planning his escape from the underworld.
So true.
Anyway, Asta says that he doesn't care who Morris is, and that he only has one thing to tell him. And the chapter ends with a beautiful final spread of the Black Bulls telling Morris to give them their captain back. What I love about this whole scene is that this whole sequence is a reference to what happened in chapter 218, where the Black Bulls came to save Asta, showing how Asta is here to return the favor by leading the Black Bulls as the temporary leader. Now, I just gotta say, this chapter was one of the best we've gotten in a while, since the return of the Black Bulls marks the return of the essence of the series, because these really are the characters that mean the most to us. Come on, guys, we all have to admit. And seeing them all together, now better than ever, really makes me, and I'm sure all of you, extremely happy. Now we just need my man back. Do it, Tabata! Give me Yami! I need my one true love back!
Sussy baka.
However, not gonna lie, one critique I have about the chapter is that I know we're all supposed to care about Lotus. I get it, he was a bad guy, but now he's not. He's got a family, and he's missing a friggin' arm, but Lotus has been gone from the story for so long that I'm sure that some of you don't even remember who the frick this guy is. The story is moving at such a fast pace that we just can't afford the time to get invested into Lotus, with minimal characterization in the form of a single panel reminding us that he has a family. Although I do appreciate Tabata continuing a very old plot point into this arc. I just don't think the story is using the cast effectively enough for this individual moment to hit like it should. I think one way this could have been solved is if we saw the Morris fight play out more than it had in the actual story. I mean, hey, if Charmy can get her own fight chapter, then why shouldn't Dorothy and Lotus? This would have given us a bit of time to get reintroduced to Lotus, as well as have the shock factor of him losing a limb actually have a bigger effect on us readers. Like, let's compare this to something similar that happened recently in Black Clover. Noct being saved by Asta from Nama and Lilith. The reason this was such an effective moment was the shock factor of Asta arriving alongside the build-up throughout the chapter. Plus, Nox's character arc coming full circle by being saved by Asta at the end and witnessing his newfound strength made this whole entrance extremely memorable, as we genuinely felt that Nox was in a pretty desperate situation. Seeing the conclusion of a fight will not make us feel invested because there's no engagement in a fight that doesn't exist since it was off-screen. Now, if we had seen Lotus be a better character than, "I'm not a bad guy, I'm just a guy who loves his family enough to beat up little kids I meet in a dungeon," then I just might have felt relieved he got saved. But instead, I'm just kinda indifferent. In fact, if he had died, it might have been more impactful. But this also gives me hope that maybe Tabata will do something more meaningful and compelling with his character. Okie dokie, that's all the time we've got for today, but thank you all so much for watching and being the beautiful people you are. Every single bit of support means the world to all of us here at ABD, and we'll keep doing our best to repay you for the support with more amazing balls deep content. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!